Okay, so we have a 2016 F-150. This is an XLT. Has the EcoBoost. This is the 2.7 twin turbo engine, and we have to replace the brake booster. The brake booster is bad on this truck, so we're going to go through the procedures to replace it. First thing that I'm going to do is take this air box out of the way. Let me somehow get the camera positioned, and we will get after it. Okay, so there's a harness here that's got to come out, and then it looks like a 12 or 13 millimeter over here. So let me get these popped up out of here. There's that harness, and then there's some clips right here. There's two push pins right here. $13 millimeter for this nut right here. Okay, that should be plenty of access. Now, there's that little harness that I had to pull out of the way. There's also connector here on the master cylinder that's got to come off. Tube, bent tube. I'll probably just disconnect that. Now I'm going to pull this whole thing out because it's got to be pushed back into the old booster anyway. There's a connector down here. Well, actually, I'm going to just pull this hose. This is a pressure sensor down here. I just pulled the hose sensor out because it's got to go on the new one. Now, I've noticed these are flex lines right here. So what I'm going to attempt to do is whenever I unbolt this master cylinder, I'm going to try to just lay the master cylinder to the side. I don't know if that's going to work. Hopefully there's enough flex in these flex lines and a little bit of flex in these metal lines to where I can just lay this off to the side and get it out of my way. I'm not saying that that's what I recommend doing, but I'm going to attempt to do that, and hopefully it all goes good. The manual does tell you to remove the master cylinder, and they want you to disconnect it right here. The problem with disconnecting it here, you got to bleed it. If I don't disconnect it from these lines, then I just lay it off to the side, I should be able to replace the booster, then put this master cylinder back on the new booster and not bleed the system at all. That would be ideal. But anyway, that's what we're going to attempt to do. I'm not saying that's going to be successful, but let me get the camera set back up, and we will get these bolts out, get this off, and then it'll be going on the inside of the vehicle to get everything in there done. I'm going to try to just pull this. There we go. Because again, the new booster, this is going to have to just push back on it. Alright, so what size do I need here? Okay. Okay, 13. Looks like 13 millimeter for the master cylinder. Okay, 13 millimeter in the master cylinder should be off there. Perfect. There is no reason, in my opinion, I don't know if you've been able to see the master cylinder is more than enough out of the way for me to get this booster out of here. Do not have to disconnect the lines. Now the one thing you do want to look at is to make sure it's dry, because one thing that causes boosters to go bad is the master cylinder leaking, and it leaks inside the booster, and then it softens the rubber up, and then the diaphragm starts leaking. So, give you a view of that. There's the master cylinder. Did not have to disconnect it hydraulically. And now for the booster. Let's go inside the vehicle. Okay guys, so the first thing you want to do normally is put the seat as far back as possible. Let me get my nifty little NEIKO lights here. Let's see what we got. So, of course, you got your 4 bolts for your booster. Now, it says to remove the brake switch. And I don't know why. I think the blue, I think that's the actual brake switch they're saying to remove. I think so. So if it comes back, it doesn't break it. I'm not sure. It says you can damage the brake switch. Brake switch, there's just a little clip and then it turns like quarter turn and comes out. But let me get this light position more right there. Man, if you guys don't have one of these NEIKO lights, I mean, that's one of the best things I've got. Okay, so I don't know how I'm going to do the camera, but I'll figure something out and then we'll get started. Now, to disconnect this brake switch, literally all you do, there's just a little plastic retainer. You just turn the thing a quarter turn and it pops out. And what they don't want, this is just a little flimsy piece of plastic. If you don't remove it, you run the possibility of snapping this off while you're down here working. So it's easy enough to remove, so I did remove it. Okay guys, we're underneath here. Now there's a pin that holds the input rod of the booster to the brake pedal assembly. And that pin, let me see if I can get a mirror up here for you. See that blue thing? That's the pin. And there's a better shot. And there's little, I don't know if you can see the 2 little tabs on the side. You got to be able to push those in and pull that pin out. And I'm going to show you an easy way to do that. First thing you want to do is come on this side of it. You can see the pin there. I'm just going to real lightly put a screwdriver on that side. And I have a 7/16 12-point socket. In fact, let me see if I can angle the camera to where you can see this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it or not, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm just going to actually pull out on this with my hand on the back side. While I put this socket over that pin, I'm going to rotate that socket and there's the pin. And what that socket does is when you put that socket down over those tabs, it pushes those tabs in. and when you turn it, it'll push it down just a little bit, just enough to where you can pop that pin out. Now the booster is disconnected from the brake pedal assembly. There you go. So now I've got to take these off. But we have a module right there in the way, so I think you can get up there to that other bolt, but I'm going to get that module out of my way just to make it easier on me. Two 10mm bolts. Okay, I'm just going to take these two 10mm bolts out so that I can get this module down and out of my way. And that just gives a little better access up there to the back. There's one. Two. Three. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this last one. Might have to do it by hand. Nope, I got it. Okay. So the booster should be ready to come out. See how this goes. There's the booster. You do want to match the boosters up. Make sure that they are, that they do look the same and everything. So far, they do. The main difference that I see is this boot right here goes around the studs and everything. The aftermarket has just got the boot that's just like that. Probably be okay. That looks the same. In fact, that's even the same part number. This is a Fimoco. It's just been bead blasted, and then new parts put in it. So these looks good. Let's go ahead and slam this one in. Okay, I'm going to go inside real quick and get a nut started so that doesn't fall back out. Okay, I actually have all four nuts started. so. Okay. Impact on forward. Okay, there's that one. There's that one. Now I want to dismount the camera. Because what I'm going to show you is you want to make sure, get that out of the way, that your input rod right here is connected where it needs to be. I mean, we're not connected yet, but we're in position. Hopefully you can see where that needs to be so that we can stab the pin. I'm just trying to find the hole. Where's that? There she is. Okay, so I've got the pin started, and there it is. Should go all the way through, lock in right there. We'll go ahead and put our brake switch in. There it is. Then I just got to mount the module here. And then we're done on the inside. Then we'll go back out to the outside. Alright guys, I'm about to lose my battery, but I'm going to keep going as much as I can. You want to make sure the seal on the back of the master cylinder is in good shape. Again, I can't credit Ford enough for putting flex lines on this. Normally you'd have to take the master cylinder off from the line, disconnect it from the lines, and you know, bleed it. Okay, see if I can pop these out. I have a screwdriver. Pressure sensor. Don't forget the brake switch. That's for the level of the brake fluid. Alright, and as far as the brakes go, this is a done job. Now all I'm going to do is put the air box back in. And then make sure that everything's good as far as the way the brakes work and everything. This job will be 100% complete. And there it is. We're 100% done, and no bleeding of the master cylinder. So let's get it started up. Make sure that our brakes feel like they should. So first, right now, okay, that feels normal. I'm going to push on the brake while I start it. Yeah, and we got a good depression going down. Now, it actually feels like we have power assist. Okay, I'm going to drive this bad boy and see if we did good. Oh yeah. Just backing up and stopping. We got all kinds of braking power. So if you didn't catch the first part of this video of troubleshooting it, if you slowly put on the brakes like that, it felt okay. Felt like you had your power assist. But whenever you really wanted to stop and you mashed them down, yeah, you had to really stand on it with pretty much all your weight. I could see definitely getting in a wreck with a lot of people because they would have thought that there is no brakes. But yeah, there's all kinds of brakes now. Amazing how much that booster makes a difference. Anyway, we're done with this job. That was replacing a power brake booster on a 2016 Ford F-150. This particular one's an EcoBoost, 2.7 liter EcoBoost. It would have been seen. There are different brake boosters for the different engines. They're not the engines, but if you have an electronic parking brake, like this truck does, it's a different part number booster than if you have the manual brake. So keep that in mind when you're ordering your booster or going to the parts store. If you have the power brake switch down there to set your parking brake, you're going to need to know that. Two different part numbers. And believe it or not, the one for the electronic parking brake was cheaper than the one. It's $65 at O'Reilly's versus I think it was like yeah, it was I think it was like right around $200 for the one with the manual parking brake. You'd kind of think it'd be the opposite, but they both looked identical to me, but they're not. They're apparently different. They got two different numbers, two different prices. All right, we're done. I'm done talking. You guys take care.